All right, let's just jump right in. Welcome to this explainer, where we are digging into a quiet, but honestly massive revolution happening in software development right now. I mean, we are living in a moment where you can type out a plain English prompt and boom, almost instantly you watch it turn into a perfectly formatted, working function. It literally feels like magic. But as we're going to see today, that magic, it's actually forcing us to completely rethink what it means to be a developer in the first place.
And because of this shift, there's this super tempting, almost utopian myth floating around the tech world right now. You've probably heard it. It's the idea that, hey, developers will soon never need to read source code again. The whole theory goes that we'll just rely entirely on AI to handle the gritty details, the syntax, the boilerplate, while we humans just kick back and guide the high-level vision. But is reading source code really a thing of the past? Well, short answer, no, absolutely not. The act of reading and understanding code isn't disappearing at all. It's just evolving.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll tackle the invisible code myth. Then, where AI falls short. Next, the rise of the code steward. After that, we'll go through some essential habits for AI developers. And finally, we'll wrap up with the human signature. Let's get to it.
Starting off with part 1, the invisible code myth. So look, there is a massive distinction right now between writing code and actually understanding it. Today's tools, stuff like GitHub Copilot or your favorite chat assistants, they really are acting as true copilots. They autocomplete functions, suggest bug fixes, they can even spin up entire test suites in the blink of an eye. For routine tasks, the speed is just unreal. But here's the catch. AI writes fast, sure, but it doesn't understand fast. Under the hood, you, the human, have to remain firmly in control. Every single generated line needs to be reviewed. Every dependency the AI suggests, you need to question it. Because at the end of the day, you are the thinking mind behind the screen.
Which brings us to part 2, where AI falls short.
Now, AI is undeniably brilliant at pattern recognition, right? It's been trained on millions and millions of lines of public code. But brilliance is not the same thing as understanding. AI completely lacks context. It doesn't know your team's unspoken rules or your company's specific risk tolerance. It is totally unaware of that one critical piece of business logic you all decided on in some random Slack thread 3 months ago. It doesn't know that a specific third-party API is notoriously flaky on Tuesday afternoons. And then there's security. An AI might suggest a super popular dependency to solve your problem, but it might be completely outdated, or worse, riddled with known vulnerabilities. Plus, it fails spectacularly at massive outliers. Since AI basically works off averages, it's not going to anticipate what happens when a chaotic user tries to upload, say, a 2 GB file to a service built strictly for thumbnail images. And it for sure won't predict how a subtle race condition might pop up when your app suddenly gets hit with massive load.
And this really illustrates the core divide here. AI focuses on averages, pattern recognition, and syntax speed. It trains on common public data. You, the human, on the other hand, you focus on outliers, deep understanding, and teen context. You rely on experience, specifically that gut intuition born from being burned by past failures. See, the AI doesn't feel the very real pain of a 2 a.m. server crash, but you do, and that pain informs your judgment in a way a dataset literally just cannot replicate.
Moving into part 3. Rise of the code steward. Because of all this, we are seeing the rise of what you might call the code steward. Writing code is really only part of the job now. The deeper work, the true craft, is in reading it, understanding it, and guiding it over time. A code steward isn't just a creator, they're a curator of living systems. Think about it. When you read code now, you aren't just scanning for syntax errors anymore. You're asking the bigger questions. Why was this written this way? What problem was the original author actually trying to solve? What invisible assumptions are baked into this logic? This active reading builds your intuition. It enforces team alignment, and when a system inevitably fails, the code steward, the person who actually knows the history of why decisions were made, they're the one who can jump in and fix it the fastest.
So the really crucial point here is how our workload is shifting. Imagine a very near future where AI handles 80% of the boilerplate code. That leaves 20%. But that 20%, it is everything. It's the core logic, the security boundaries, the highly nuanced user experience. That remaining 20% requires absolute, undivided human ownership.
In that world, reading code is no longer a chore or just some baseline requirement. Reading code is a superpower. It elevates developers to master builders. It's kind of like architecture. We still have master builders and structural engineers in the age of CAD software, right? In software development, we will always need people who can read, reason, and decide. Reading code becomes this deliberate,
highly valuable choice, almost like auditing a complex financial statement. You do it to spot the subtle flaw or the elegant solution that no AI could ever generate on its own.
All right, part 4, habits for AI developers. Let's get practical. If you're using an AI pair programmer, your daily habits have to evolve. Here are 6 quick steps to keep in mind. 1. Treat AI output as a first draft. Seriously, never just merge it blindly. 2. Audit your dependencies and security. Never assume the AI has your company's context. 3. Test the edge cases, like heavy loads or weird inputs, because the AI will miss them. 4. Use AI to explain confusing code, not just to generate it. It's a great tutor. 5. Document the why. AI cannot document human intent, so that's on you. And 6. Stay curious. Always ask yourself if there's a better way to do something. Finally, part 5, the human's signature. There is no doubt AI is changing how we write software. It makes us faster, more productive, all of that. But it is redefining the developer's role, not replacing it, because coding has always been about intents, responsibility, and judgment. Those are traits you just can't train on a dataset. Ultimately, AI generates code, but humans own it. As long as software continues to shape the physical and digital world around us, we need humans to understand it deeply, to ask the hard questions, and, well, to keep the lights on. Which leaves us with this final thought for you to take away today. As we move further into this new era, your identity as a developer is going to shift. You have a choice in how you adopt. In the age of AI generation, will you just write code, or will you step up, own the systems, and curate it? Think about how you're going to approach your next project. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep building with intent.